Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am making myself a nice and warm maternity evening dress that I can wear for Christmas parties, holidays, New Year's Eve, going out to the opera, just any occasion where I want to look a little bit more formal but still be nice and warm, and of course it needs to fit over my bump. That's the main objective here. If you haven't seen the last video in which we made the design and started working on the bodice, then you can go watch that here. Now it's time to continue where we left off last time. So I have the foundations of my bodice, and the next step I think is to make the skirt and attach it. Now there is one slight issue here that I'm a little bit worried about, just in the mechanics of my pattern making. I am very new at pattern making, not very good at it. So it's gonna take a little bit of trial and error, a bit of experimentation to see how I can deal with that. Let me show you. My bodice is currently draped on my dress form here, and as you can see, I have pretty much draped it in a way that I would like it to be in the final product. And there is a little bit of fabric here. So if I undo one of the sides here, then you can maybe see the structure of this bodice a little bit better. My original plan was to attach the skirt directly to the bottom of the top, as you normally would. So I've left a lot of room in the front here. All of this extra fabric, even if it's gathered here, it's going to be able to drape over my bump, right? And it's nice and straight. Like, all of this is just going in a straight line, but once I drape it, it is no longer in a straight line. And if I make it a straight line, there is just extra fabric here. So that's a bit of a problem. And I'm worried that if I attach my skirt here now, I will still have that issue. So I might have to recut this at an angle so that I no longer have that, because I would hate for the skirt to just dip in the center here. That's definitely not what we want. I should probably fix this first. Take the new measurement of that and use that as the circumference for the top of my skirt, because I'm planning on just using the full measurement of the bottom of the bodice for my skirt as well. I'd say we have a difference of about 6 centimeters here. Maybe I just need to take that off here. I'm really nervous because I don't have a very good understanding yet of how things like this work and pattern making and stuff like that. I'm still quite new to that. It's all about experimentation. Let's just give it a try. I can always cut out a new bodice. I have plenty of fabric left, so we're good, we're good. Let's see how wide this is. 40 centimeters, so at 20 centimeters, which is right here. Oh, the bottom started to curl up. That's what I was worried about with this fabric. I'm gonna start working on that 6 centimeter incline. So we're gonna go to here. There we go, no way back. I hope this was a good decision. Okay, let's see if that helped at all. Oh yes, I can already tell. This is much better. Yeah, I think this was a good call. Doing it like this. I could even straighten this out a little bit more. But yeah, okay, looks good. I'm glad I did that. So now I'm gonna just measure along the entire bottom of the bodice that I currently have and use that measurement to calculate my circle skirt. My favorite part of every project. Skirt calculations. I did some measuring and I should have just enough width left in my fabric to do a full circle skirt to about the length of the skirt that I'm wearing right now, which I think is a really nice and flattering length. Of course, that'll be a little bit longer than usual right now, since I'm obviously doing a higher waistline. With the higher waistline and the wider waistline that I'm gonna gather, I came to the conclusion that I need about a 90 centimeter circle, and I have just enough fabric to do that. So I'm gonna cut those out now. The sun's going down already. Oh, it goes dark so early these days. I'm gonna try and cut these out and then probably wait till tomorrow to do assembly. Let's get this cut. The skirt is finished, or at least it is attached. The two panels are attached to each other. And after I was done with this, I realized I should have made this asymmetrical, because now like the front and the back are equally wide, but the front should have been much wider and the back should have been much narrower. So yeah, too late. Too late to go back now, but that is something that I should have kept in mind probably, because now the seams the seams on the side of the skirt won't line up with the seams on the bodice. But that's okay. I mean, if that's the worst thing, it could definitely be a lot worse. Now it's time to attach this to the bodice. And since the seams, the side seams won't line up, I will just try to find the center and match that up with the center of the bodice. And then we can go ahead and attach everything together. And fingers crossed that it all kind of comes together then, because that's when the most nerve-wracking part starts. Trying to gather the fronts. Time to find out whether this whole plan that I have even works. Like, if it's even possible to stretch out elastic that far and make it gather this much fabric. I'm gonna try it out. That's what I'm gonna do. So the length we need eventually is about this much. Maybe I just pin it down and try and stretch it out. It does stretch out that far. Okay, good. Okay, that's hopeful. That is hopeful. Do I want it to scrunch all the way around, or maybe just in the center? Do I maybe want to leave the sides open a little bit? Oh, where my skirt seam sits, that might be a good point. So we're going from one skirt seam to the next one. Will it still stretch? Oh, that's gonna be a tight squeeze. I don't think it will go that far. Okay, maybe I just go all the way from the side then. Or do I maybe do gathering stitches along the front to kind of like pre-scrunch some of this? Will it still work? Can you double gather fabric? First attempt was just sewing the elastic in as tightly as it would go. Safe to say, this is not the result I was going for. That method is off the table. Also, when you look up close, this, oh my gosh, unacceptable. This is definitely not how we're gonna do things. So I'm gonna take out this elastic again and rethink this whole thing, because it needs to work somehow. I feel really bad now because I just recorded the biggest revelation I've had during this entire process, and I apparently didn't press record, or I actually did, I pressed it twice. So here we are. Okay, let me just recap what happened here. So I took the elastic out because that definitely wasn't gonna work. So there are a few options that I have here in order to gather this front. I've considered doing a channel on the inside that I could run an elastic through. I've considered using elastic thread to do a gathering stitch with. I've considered all kinds of different solutions, but I think the easiest thing to do would be to simply belt this dress. And to do that, there are two options. I could just simply create a belt or some waist ties to just go around the whole thing, manually scrunch it up in front when I wear it, and call it the day. Another thing I could do is go into the side seam of the skirt here, of the circle skirt, just at the very top, have a little ribbon or a thinner tie come out of there, and then tie it in the front, just that front section. I'm very much leaning towards the belt option because I think it would be easiest for me. I have most confidence that it'll work. And also I realized that all of this scrunched up fabric here, it's not actually gonna look that good. The reference dresses that I used, all of them that had this type of feature, where most of the gathers were in the center, had something over. So they had like a knot or just something covering up all of that scrunching, because it just doesn't look very good. And I think having that exposed won't necessarily do anything for the dress. Probably just tying a belt around this with a bow or something would be easiest. I was leaning first towards doing the thin straps in the side seams and gathering just the front. Then I realized thin straps might not be enough to actually hide this. Probably just the whole waist strap band belt situation will be easier. Then I realized I was actually wearing a belt, and I decided to just simply try it with the belt. Put on this belt, I scrunch up my dress in the center, make sure that it is straight from the side seams going back. Make sure my waist is hidden. And then I saw myself in the mirror and I realized I love it. I love it with this exact belt. It may just be because I'm wearing this black dress underneath and it kind of pulls the whole thing together, but I really like this little bit of metal accent in the center. And I feel like it just works. And I could use different color belts, and I like how it's a very different texture and it's not all the same color. It adds a little bit of an accent. I also like how it hides my waist seam everywhere. I think I'm just gonna belt it with an existing belt and not make one. So far so good. I really like this. When I look at myself in the mirror now, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. I feel like this is a good dress for a pregnant lady at Christmas. Very nice, very nice. So next steps. I'm ready to take this forward. I will think on this. I will sleep on this for a little bit, but I really do like the belt option and it saves me a lot of trouble. It kind of feels like cheating, but also why is it? A belt's a perfectly normal piece of clothing or accessory. So what I'm gonna do now is even out the hem on the bottom here, because that needs to happen. And I also figured out how I want to hem this. So I think I'm gonna do bias tape and just attach bias tape to the bottom, then fold it over and whip stitch. Because I feel like if I try to roll this or fold it up, it is a circle skirt on a fabric that tends to roll on its own. It's not gonna look good. It's gonna be uneven, it's gonna lettuce, and yeah, no bueno. So I'm gonna do bias tape. That would be the easiest way to finish the bottom. And then we can work on sleeves. And I'm really excited about that because that is going to completely transform the look of this dress. It's a new day. The dress is fully hemmed. Quite happy with how this turned out, although I do wish I was a little bit better prepared and had some actual hemming tape or something to use around the hem that is a matching color, because right now it's brown and it does peek out sometimes. So this is something that I would definitely like to change later on if I get the chance to. For now it's good enough. At least the hem looks nice and tidy. Yeah, next step is sleeves. And for this I would very much like to make those 3/4 bishop sleeves. And I'm thinking it'd probably be easiest if I just use the sleeve pattern that matches the same pattern that I used for the top. I could use that as a base for my pattern, but a bishop sleeve is really simple because it's basically really oversized. So I just need to make it nice and big and then I can cinch it into the size that I need. And since I'll be doing a 3/4 length, it'll probably come down to around here, just below elbow. So I will just take that width, create a little cuff, gather everything into that. And then around the top, it can be a little bit gathered as well. I don't mind if, you know, any excess fabric is gathered around the shoulders here. I have fabric left. Hopefully it is enough to do sleeves. Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah, it's definitely enough for sleeves. Okay, back to the cutting table. I have sewed up the side of my sleeves and I ran a gathering stitch down the bottom of the sleeve because I now need to gather it into this cuff that I made. It's just a very simple rectangle sewn into circle. Don't know what I was trying to say there. Sewn together. So yeah, I measured around the wrist where I think the sleeve is more or less going to hit, and since this is a stretchy fabric, I'm sure it'll be fine to put this on. So I just now need to make sure that these two fit into each other, which means we're gonna go right sides together. So I'm gonna smoosh this sleeve into the cuff. and then start pulling on the gathering stitches until this actually fits. And after I have sewn this with the zigzag stitch, I'm gonna go in and remove that gathering stitch, because that's probably gonna hinder the elasticity of the cuff, and I do need that to be quite stretchy so that I can actually put it on and take it off over my hands and everything. All right, it needs to be quite a bit smaller than it is now. Sleeves are finished. I ended up just hand stitching the inside of the cuff. I just did a simple whip stitch around. I felt like that would be the easiest and least visible from the outside, because I still don't know how to top stitch any of this in a way that it will still be flexible, aside from maybe using flexible thread, which I don't currently have. So in order to keep the elasticity of the zigzag stitch that I used, I just whip stitched on the inside. But yeah, sleeves look great with the cuffs and the slight poof. Very happy with that. So now all I need to do is set the sleeves in the dress, gather any excess that I have around the top here to create a little poof there as well. And that's gonna be the dress finished, and I'm so excited. Can't wait to see this on and to see the finished thing and just, oh yay! We're done! The dress is finished and I am very happy with it, I do have to say. There are definitely some things that I feel like could use a bit of improvement, but considering that I honestly had really no idea what I was doing for pretty much the entire process, I am quite pleased with the outcome. I think it's a really nice festive dress. It's gonna be perfect for me to wear during the holidays. I have a lot of room to grow here. I honestly think I have way more room to grow than I need, and I could have made it a lot smaller. But you know, maybe future pregnancies, who knows? Who knows, I might still utilize it in the future. That being said, I do think if it would have been a little bit smaller, it would have been easier to style in a flattering way. I feel like right now there is a little bit too much fabric around the front. I keep having to kind of readjust it, make sure that it stays where I want it to stay. A bit more fussing than I would have liked for, you know, a dress obviously that I'm wearing. I love the sleeves. I think the design in general was a good choice. I also do think I do need to add a little tack or something here because it's a bit cleavagey, a little bit too much maybe. Other than that, super happy with it. Love this fabric. It's so gorgeous, it's stunning, it's festive, it's warm, which was the goal. I wanted to not freeze during evening parties and formal occasions. And I think I have achieved that with this dress. Main objectives checked off. Baby fits, I'm nice and warm, it looks festive. I say it's a success. That's it guys, thank you so much for following along on this journey. I'm still carefully dipping my toe into maternity wear. And of course we'll be continuing this in the new year, so if you did enjoy this, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to see all of the rest of the projects that are coming up. There is another video here that I think you might also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you so much for watching guys. Happy Christmas, enjoy your holidays, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!